Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Vihari Radha Madhava Gopi Chana Vallabha Girivānodhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivānodhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivānodhari Sodanandana Madhucchandanda Brajajanaran Yasodanandana Brajajanaran Vyamunatīravana Charira Vyamunatīravana Charira Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Vihari Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivānodhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivānodhari Yasodanandana Brajajanaranjana Brajajanaranjana Yasodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yasodanandana Brajajanaranjana Vanachari Tira Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Premanandi. Is anybody on?
Yes, yes. So, Uddhava Prabhu is there.
Oh, Uddhava.
Yeah.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this morning we're reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 16. Lord Parashuram destroyed the ruling class, and we're on text 29, huh?
Yes.
Viśvāmitrasya caivāsan
viśvāmitrasyaika-śataṁ
putrā eka-śatam nṛpa
eka-śataṁ
madhyamastu madhucchandā madhucchandasa eva chete viśvāmitrasya viśvāmitra cha also eva indeed āsan there were putrā sons ekshata 101 nṛpa O King Parīkṣit madhyamaḥ the middle one two indeed Madhucchandā known as Madhucchandā madhucchandasa named Madhucchandās eva indeed te all of them. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Śrīla Prabhupada Vijaya. O King Parīkṣit, Viśvāmitra had 101 sons, of whom the middle one was known as Madhucchandā. In relation to him, all the other sons were celebrated as the Madhucchandās. Purport. In this connection, Śrīla Viśvanātha Cakravartī Ṭhākura quotes this statement from the Vedas. Tasya viśvāmitrasyaika-śataṁ putrā āsuḥ pañcāśad eva jyāyāṁso madhucchandasa pañcāśat caivāsan. Viśvāmitra had 101 sons, 50 were older than Madhucchandā and 50 were younger. So he was right in the middle. And because of that, they were known as the Madhucchandās. Text number 30. Viśvāmitra accepted the son of Ajigārtha, known as Sunnasepa, who was born in the Bhrigu dynasty and was also known as Devarata, as one of his own sons. Viśvāmitra ordered his other sons, to accept Sunnasepa as their eldest brother. Text 31. Sunnasepa's father sold Sunnasepa to be sacrificed as a man animal in the yajna of King Harishchandra. Man animal. Sold him. When Sunnasepa was brought into the sacrificial arena, he prayed to the demigods for release and was released by their mercy. Purport. Here is a description of Sunnasepa. When Harishchandra was to sacrifice his son Rohita arranged to save his own life by purchasing Sunaksepa from Sunaksepa's father to be sacrificed in the yajna. Read that again. Didn't understand it. When Harishchandra was to sacrifice his son Rohita, Rohita arranged to save his own life by purchasing Sunasepa from Sunasepa's father to be sacrificed in the yajna. Sunasepa was sold to Maharaj Harishchandra because he was the middle son. I don't know what made that. Because he was the middle son. Okay. Between the oldest and the youngest. It appears that the sacrifice of a man as an animal in yajna has been practiced for a very long time. Next verse. Although Sunapeta was born in the Bhargava dynasty, he was greatly advanced in spiritual life. And therefore the demigods involved in the sacrifice protected him. Consequently, he was also celebrated as the descendant of Gati named Devarata. Next text, 33. When requested by their father to accept Sunasepa as the eldest son, the elder 50 of the Madhucchandās, the sons of Viśvāmitra, did not agree. Therefore, Viśvāmitra, being angry, cursed them. May all of you bad sons become mlechas, he said, being opposed of the principles of Vedic culture. Purport. In Vedic literature, there are names like mlecha and yavana. The mlechas are understood to be those who do not follow the Vedic principles. In former days, the mlechas were fewer, and Viśvāmitra Muni cursed his sons to be mlechas. But in the present age, Kali Yuga, there is no need of cursing, for people are automatically mlechas. This is only the beginning of Kali Yuga, but at the end of Kali Yuga, the entire population will consist of mlechas, because no one will follow Vedic principles. At that time, the incarnation of Kalki will appear. Mlecha Vaha Nidhane. He will kill all the mlechas indiscriminately with his sword. Om Jnanatamandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshram Litam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Mukam Krotavachalang Pangun Lang Hayate Grim Yat Kripa Tadaham Vande Shri Gurum Yanataranam. Vanchakapati Vischa Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Oh, Krishna. So it appears that slavery has been going on a long time, and even there would human sacrifices. That's been going on a long time. You know, in America, they had back in 100 years ago or so, or some 100 years, 200 years, there were slaves. Yeah. And I guess in the late 1800s, early 1700s, that was abolished, that was stopped. But many of the slaves, they were happy being slaves because they were fed. They were taken care of. They didn't have to work. They didn't have to go and get a job. Everything was taken care of. And then when they got freedom, now they had to go out and work. They had to find a job. It's not easy. You know, maybe a job you don't like, but they would be being taken care of. You know, they just had to clean the house, maybe cook or something. Wasn't that a big thing? So many of them were happy being slaves. Yeah. And Sudras, many people that are Sudras, they don't mind doing service for others. It's just their nature. And others, they wouldn't stand for it. Yeah. So everybody has different natures, but those natures can change. Actually, the goal of the whole Vedic system is that everybody can be trained to be devotees. The Sudras, just like most of the devotees that are in our society, they were Sudras. You know, even Prabhupada said, even the people that are doing this high-tech computer business, Sudras. It's just working. You're working for somebody else. It's a Sudra. Don't take offense.
No.
But yeah, everybody is born Sudra in this world, in Kali Yuga. But they can be trained to be Brahmanas. Everybody can be trained. Anybody can, if they're able and willing to be trained, they can be trained. And therefore we see around the world that there are many devotees that have been trained to be Vaishnavas and to be, as I mentioned yesterday, to be Brahmanas. Now here it's interesting that Viśvāmitra, he cursed his sons because they didn't follow the order of their father. And that's kind of a Vedic principle, that the son follows the order of the father. Now in Kali Yuga, now I know of many devotees or people who want to be devotees, they join the movement, but the father said no. Or they would ask their father, "Father, I want to join the Hare Krishna." And the father would say no. And he wouldn't join. Yeah. Demons. Demoniac fathers.
Yeah.
They're an obstacle. The fathers can quite often be an obstacle to the son's advancement. And one devotee, he told me that he joined the movement, and his mother and father wanted to take him away, but somehow they couldn't do it. So the mother came to the temple, and she's banging her head on the ground. "Give me back my son! Give me back my son!" You know, blood's coming. "Give me back my son!" They don't understand that Krishna, he's the real father, and Radharani is our real mother. So this devotee, he understood that, so he didn't want to go back. And in America, back in the 80s, I guess mainly in the 80s, they had these people called the deprogrammers. Yeah. And parents would contact them because they didn't want their children to be Hare Krishnas. And they would kidnap them, and they would do terrible things, get them to drink and go to parties, but many of the devotees, they would escape. And they weren't just kidnapping Hare Krishna, they were kidnapping from all kinds of groups. But the deprogrammers said the Hare Krishnas were the most difficult. They were the most difficult because the devotees knew these guys are just rascals, and I'm on a glorious path. Yeah, I met many devotees who tried to get deprogrammed. Sometimes they were successful, unfortunately. Sometimes devotees that weren't strong, they would take them away, and they wouldn't come back. But most of them were able to escape. But it's a heavy duty karma. I mean, these people that were kidnapping devotees and taking them away from Krishna. I mean, you can't be more demoniac than that. I mean, talking about an obstacle. Yeah, I met one devotee. His mother was driving the car, and these guys came and they kidnapped him. And he's in the back, and he grabbed his mother's hair. She's driving, he was able to grab his mother, he wouldn't let go. He said, pull over the car. Pull over the car. I'm not going to let go. Pull over the car. And she pulled over and he was able to get away. Had to pull his mother's hair because they were interfering with his devotional life. So yeah, material world to a crazy place. But here also, we're hearing how the father, Viśvāmitra, he cursed his sons because they wouldn't follow him, which is also kind of unusual because for some reason he wanted the middle son to be the senior above his bigger brothers, older brothers for some reason. They didn't accept that. Cursed to be malechas. Now, believe it or not, Lord Chaitanya, he was cursed. He was cursed that you will never have material enjoyment. And Lord Chaitanya was so happy. Well, that's a nice curse. I'd like to have that curse. That'd be a curse, a good curse. So, and the reason is because Lord Chaitanya wasn't allowing anybody except for his intimate associates to be in the kirtan of Srivas Thakur. They would have kirtans all day long and all night long. They were having these amazing kirtans. And some wanted to join. But at that time, Lord Chaitanya, he just wanted his core devotees in this kirtan. So there was one instance where one young brahmana, who was just living off of milk, and he wanted to be in the kirtan. So he asked Srivas Thakur, please, I would love to be in the kirtan, please, can you do something? He said, no, Lord Chaitanya, at this time he doesn't want anybody else to participate unless the inner circle of his devotees. But he kept on begging, please, just one night. So he was so humble and so nice, and he was so austere that he said, all right. So he hid him in Srivas Thakur's house. He's so happy. He's hearing the kirtan. He's seeing Lord Chaitanya. And Lord Chaitanya said, I'm not feeling bliss. What, is there somebody here that shouldn't be here? And Srivas Thakur said, there's just one young brahmana here. He wanted to experience the kirtan, but he's very humble, he's very austere, he only lives off of drinking milk. And Lord Chaitanya said, get him out. So the brahmana, he left. He heard, so he left. But he was so happy because he got to experience the kirtan, Lord Chaitanya singing and dancing and all the devotees, and he was just so happy. So he's just feeling overwhelmed with joy as he's leaving. I got the mercy. So Lord Chaitanya, he's omniscient again. So he told Srivas Thakur, bring him back. It's okay. He just appreciated this Brahmana boy, just appreciated so much. He didn't feel offended that he was kicked out. So Lord Chaitanya appreciated that. He was allowed to come back in the kirtan. He got the mercy. This is a pretty amazing pastime here. A little difficult to understand. We'll just go on a little bit more. What time is it? 8:10. Shall we read a little more?
Yeah.
This is text 32. Although Sunasepa was born in the Bhargava dynasty, he was greatly advanced in spiritual life. And therefore the demigods involved, oh yeah, we read that already. Oh yeah, so okay, here. This is text 34. When the elder Madhucchandās were cursed, the younger 50, along with Madhucchandā himself, approached their father and agreed to accept his proposal. Dear father, they said, we shall abide by whatever arrangement you like. Text 35. Thus the younger Madhucchandās accepted Sunasepa as their eldest brother and told him, but they were already younger brothers. He was already an older brother. That's a little unusual. We shall follow your orders. Viśvāmitra then said to his obedient sons, because you have accepted Sunasepa as your eldest brother, I am satisfied. By accepting my order, you have made me a father of worthy sons. And therefore I bless all of you to become fathers of sons also. Purport. Of the 100 sons, half disobeyed Viśvāmitra by not accepting Sunasepa as their eldest brother, but the other half accepted his order. Therefore the father blessed the obedient sons to become the fathers of sons. Otherwise, they too would have been cursed to be sonless mlechas. Text 36. The Viśvāmitra said, O Kushikas, descendants of Kushika, this Devarata is my son and is one of you. Please obey his orders. O King Parīkṣit, Viśvāmitra had many other sons, such as Ashtaka, Harita, Jaya, and Katuman. And this is the last text of the chapter, text 37. Viśvāmitra cursed some of his sons and blessed the others. And he also adopted a son. Thus there were varieties in the Kaushika dynasty, but among all the sons, Devavrata was considered the eldest. Thus end the Bhagavatam purports of the 9th canto, 16th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Lord Parasuraman Destroys the World's Ruling Class. So, ultimately, the father of everyone is Pitaham Ashijagata, Mata Data Pitama, Vedyam Pavitam Omkara Rigsamyaja Evacha. So this is the statement in the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says that I'm the father of everyone. And Krishna, he's the best father. He's the best father because he has everyone's best interest at heart. Now, there's some fathers, like I mentioned earlier, they don't know what is best for their sons. There used to be a show in America called Father Knows Best. So Krishna is the best father, so he knows what is best for everyone. Therefore, he comes and he gives us the Bhagavad Gita. And he sends so many devotees, like Prabhupada. Many devotees consider Prabhupada as their real father. Because, like my father he was a terrible person. I won't tell you how terrible he was, but he was a terrible person. Kali Yuga. To be a good father. Actually, there's a statement, Pitaham Ashijagato. No. Guru Nasasya, Sojano Nasasya, Pitana Sasya, Sojano Nasasya. That one should not become a guru. Guru Nasasya, Sojano Nasasya. One should not become a demigod. Pitana Sasya, Sojani Nasasya. One shouldn't be a father. One should not be a mother. If one is not able to deliver one's descendants from the cycle of birth and death. So it's a huge responsibility. to be a father. You're supposed to deliver your son. You're supposed to deliver your wife also from the repetition of birth and death. So it's a huge responsibility. Prabhupada, he had 5 children, but none of them became devotees. One of them was favorable, Vrindavan. He was favorable, but none of the others. One of his granddaughters became a devotee. Unfortunately, she passed away in one of the Ganges floods. We used to have these floods. We don't hear about that so much anymore. But she passed away, unfortunately. But to be a father, it's a big responsibility, and to deliver one's son in this Kali Yuga is very difficult. Advaitacharya, he had 6 sons, and 3 were devotees, and 3 weren't. They became Mayavadis. And he's God. Advaitacharya is God. But still, he wasn't able to deliver them. But Prabhupada, he's amazing. He went to America and he accepted so many disciples. Like sons and daughters, they become like sons and daughters. And they were very happy to have Prabhupada as their actual father. Prabhu, come. Oh, okay. So, Prabhupada was a very good father, and he still is. There's an amazing example of Prabhupada, one of my favorite pastimes of Prabhupada, where he was, he had gone to America. He was there for 5 years. But then in 1970, he got instruction from Dwarkadish. He was staying at Rukmini Dwarkadish temple in Los Angeles. And Dwarkadish told him, go to India. And Prabhupada said, but things are going here. Why? Things are going good here. Why go to India? And Krishna said, no, that's okay. You go. I'll take care of everything. And he's having a conversation with Dwarkadish. So Prabhupada said, okay. So 1970, he went to India, and he told the temples to send at least one from each temple. So 30 devotees went to India. Prabhupada called them dancing white elephants. So they're there in India, and the Indians were amazed because the Indians, they're looking up so much to the West. Yeah. And now these Americans and Europeans, they're taking up Krishna consciousness. The Indians are forgetting, giving it up, and the Americans are accepting it. So they're like, what's happening here? It was a shock. It was a big shock. So there was one family, Shyamasundar and his wife Malati. They brought their little daughter, little Saraswati. She's maybe 3 or 4 years old, and she was a good little devotee. And they would have kirtan, and she would be, singing and dancing and raising her hands. Beautiful blonde hair, and the Indians were just like, nobody has blonde hair in the whole country, not one person. So to see a little girl with blonde hair chanting Hare Krishna and dancing, with a little sari on, it's like, what's going on? It was a big shock for them, So they were traveling all around India. Prabhupada's preaching like anything. It was amazing. So they went to Madras, and there was one minister, financial minister, who liked the devotees, and he let them stay in his house. He had a big house, and he about 4-story building. He let the devotees take one whole floor, and he liked little Saraswati, so he brought her a little present. It was a murti of Krishna, solid silver murti of Krishna. And she was very happy because she liked Krishna. So she was very happy to have this little murti of Krishna. She's a little girl, so she put the murti on the table and she went playing in the house. And Prabhupada told the man, it's very nice that you've given her this gift, but it's very expensive, solid silver. She can lose it, little girl. Do you have anything that you can replace that with, that she'll be okay with? And he said, yeah. So, in India, they have these little clay murtis of Krishna. So he had a nice, colorful murti of Krishna. So he took away the silver murti and brought back the other one, but it didn't put it on the table. So she came back and she's looking for her little Krishna that had been given to her, little murti of Krishna, but it wasn't there. So she said to the devotees, where is Krishna? I put him here. Where is Krishna? And Prabhupada immediately caught her mood. So Prabhupada said, maybe they put her in, maybe he's in the bedroom. Go in the bedroom. So she ran into the bedroom. She's looking all around. Krishna comes back. No, Prabhupada, he's not there. So maybe the other bedroom. Go in there. So she darts in there. She's running around looking in there. No, Prabhupada, he's not there. Look in the kitchen. Maybe he's in the kitchen. So she's looking all around the kitchen. No, Prabhupada, he's not there. And then Prabhupada started chanting a verse. He Radhe Vrajadevi Ke Chalalite He Nanda Suno Kuta Shri Govardhana Parakavadapade Kalindi Vanye Kuta Gosanta Vriti Sarvata Vrajapare Kedar Mahavivalo Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyugo Shri Jiva Gopalako. This is one of the songs of the Sad Goswami Astakam of the 6 Goswamis. It said that the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, they were looking all over for Krishna. Is Krishna on the banks of the Jamuna, under the Kaparvriksha trees, or is he maybe at Govardhan Hill? Where is Krishna? They're looking for Krishna. Where is Krishna? So the little Saraswati, she's like, where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? Like the 6 goes, where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? And she's almost in tears now. Where is Krishna? Prabhupada, where is Krishna? And then the father, Shyamasundar, said, Saraswati, who has Krishna? And then it dawned on her, Prabhupada has Krishna. So then she paid obeisance to Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, you have Krishna? Yes, I have Krishna. But then the man had brought the other clay Krishna. So he said, here was Krishna. It was a different Krishna, but she was okay. It was Krishna. She was so happy she got Krishna back. So the devotees were amazed to see Prabhupada bring out so much devotion from this little girl. And also to themselves. It was an amazing pastime. Prabhupada has this ability to bring out devotion from devotees. And there's another nice pastime that took place about the same time. The devotees were traveling around and they were in Bombay at this time. And there was one of the devotees was Giriraj Brahmachari, who is now a sannyasi. And he's the son of a millionaire. His father was a lawyer and a judge. And he was the only son. So it was very painful for them, for their son, first to join the Hare Krishna movement. That was difficult. But then also to be in India, on the other side of the planet. So they contacted Giriraj and said, listen, we're coming to India. We want to see you. So he got the flight information, picked him up at the airport. Immediately the father was trying to talk him into going back to America. And how could you be in India? This is the third world country, a poor country. You go back to America, come on. No, I like it here. So he said, can you arrange a meeting with your guru? I want to meet your guru. I want to speak to him. I said, yeah, okay. So Prabhupada is there with Prabhupada's servant and Giriraj and the parents, mother and father. They're both there. So the father said, this disciple of yours, he's our son, and he's our only son, and it's very difficult for us that he's here in India. Please, can you send him back to America? He'll still be your disciple, he'll still be a Hare Krishna, but please, can you send him back? So Prabhupada looked at Giriraj and said, Giriraj, do you want to go back to America? And he said, no, Prabhupada, I want to stay here with you. So Prabhupada said, well, what do you want me to do? He said, you don't want me to force him, do you? And I said, no, because there's a saying in America, a person forced against his will is of the same opinion still. So still he'll run away. So they figured anyway. So then Prabhupada said, well, take him to Kathmandu, to the Himalayas, Nepal. Spend some time, maybe a week with him. And he said, yeah, I can do that. So they went to Nepal. They spent about a week together. And they were very happy with that. And then they had to leave, so they went back to Bombay. And Giriraj wanted them to spend a little more time with Prabhupada. Because it stated, sadhu sangha, sarva shastri hoy, lava matra, sadhu sangha, sarva siddhi hoy. That even a moment's association with a pure devotee can make one's life perfect. So he wanted them to spend more time with Prabhupada. So Prabhupada didn't preach to them. Sometimes preaching to someone means not preaching, just being a gentleman. Just being a gentleman. So Prabhupada was just, joking with them, differences between America and India. And Prabhupada is he's a wonderful personality. So they were happy to have that time with Prabhupada. And then they left. And the servant said to Prabhupada, Prabhupada, you amaze me. Everybody loves you so much. They came and they were so distraught, and they left, they were happy. Yeah. To have that association with Prabhupada. Of course, their son also. But you amaze me. Everybody loves you so much. And Prabhupada said, that's because I love everyone so much. So that's Prabhupada. Pure devotee. So, any question or comment?
So, thank you very much. I just have one practical question. So, at the starting, you mentioned practically now everyone are Shudras, and the idea is to make them come to the level of Brahmanas.
Yeah.
So, for example, in my personal case, of course, if there is any service, I would do. But at a personal level, mainly Brahma is to be very clean. So, I sometimes feel like, it will take maybe many lifetimes.
So you don't think you're very clean?
Yeah. So, how?
Well, it's pretty clean. I mean, I'm here. It's pretty clean here.
Yeah, I'm like.
Is that because of the Mataji? You do a lot of cleaning here?
No, I mean, this is what, when it comes to service, I will do.
Yeah.
But when it comes to personal, for example, of course, anyway, I'm not yet initiated, but still, for example, to be at the altar, wearing fresh clothes and many other things. So, because we present ourselves to the Lord, so keeping ourselves external cleanliness also. So this is for me, okay, maybe it will take a lot of time.
No, it doesn't. Not going to take lifetimes. Just to be as we continue on in this practice of Krishna consciousness, we not only do we physically clean, but we're also cleansing the heart. We're cleansing the heart. We're cleansing the mind. But it's not an easy thing, to be clean. As it said, cleanliness is next to godliness. And Prabhu said, cleanliness is godliness. So as we continue on, then we become cleaner and cleaner. I mean, look at yourself now, and look at yourself how you were maybe 3 years ago. Some improvement, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So look at ourselves now and look at how we were. There's definitely improvement. And that's from the practice of Krishna consciousness. But again, we have to be patient, and eventually we'll become completely cleansed, internally and externally. Yeah. Krishna is very clean. He likes to be clean. He likes cleanliness. Yeah. So he likes a clean heart. It's like there's this amazing the pastime of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he was the leading Mayavadi in India at the time. Sannyasis would come and they would get instruction from him. He was like Paka Mayavadi. So Lord Chaitanya, he went to Jagannath Puri, and when he went to the temple, he fainted. He was in ecstasy, seeing his Lord. And sometimes imposters, sahajiyas, they would come and they would make a show.
Yeah.
It's like there's one little side story in that regard. Devotees were in Los Angeles, and one of these persons came to LA, and during the kirtan, he started rolling around on the temple room floor. And devotees didn't know what to think because they never seen anything like that before. So one devotee, he wrote Prabhupada, this person, he's during the kirtan, he started rolling around on the floor. And Prabhupada said, kick him. And if he doesn't get upset, then he's bona fide, and you pay obeisances and offer respects. But if he gets angry, then you know he's an imposter. And sure enough, he got angry. But actually, no, they didn't kick him. They didn't kick him. But Prabhupada explained that these are called sahajiyas. They're imposters. They're acting like they're very advanced. But there's a lot of that. Yeah.
But what happened to that?
He was there maybe a couple of days and then he left. But they're called sahajiyas. Yeah. You've heard of sahajiyas. There's a lot of them in India. And actually, there's another pastime of Haridas Thakur. There was a kirtan going on, and Haridas Thakur, he was the real thing. So he went into ecstasy. He was quivering, his body was quivering, and tears coming from his eyes, and he was just in ecstasy, and everybody's like, wow. But there was one brahmana there. So Haridas Thakur, eventually he got up and he went on, is very happily, chanting the holy name. But then one brahmana there, he thought, well, I'm also very advanced. So he started rolling around also on the ground. And somebody came and beat him with a stick because he knew it was just a rascal, imposter. And one person said, why'd you beat him? But Haridas Thakur, you didn't beat him. Because Haridas Thakur, he's a pure devotee, but you can see this person just a nonsense rascal, so I beat him. So anyway, they were going to beat Lord Chaitanya, but Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he was there, so he stopped them. And you could see that he was a sannyasi, but he was not exhibiting any symptom of life. But he took a little cotton and he put it next to his nose, and you could see it was moving a little bit. So he's conscious, but he's in this very elevated state of consciousness, of ecstasy that he had heard about. So he told the guards, bring him to my house. So then He was in his house, and then the devotees came. He had gone there earlier. So the devotees came, and they're looking for Lord Chaitanya, and they got word that he's at Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's house, still unconscious, still in ecstasy. So they just started chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And he came back to consciousness. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he became a great devotee. It's an amazing story. Anyway, he thought, this is a young sannyasi. He's handsome. He's young, so I should preach to him, teach Vedanta. So that's what he would do. So for 7 days he spoke to him, and Lord Chaitanya didn't say anything. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he asked him, do you understand? You're not asking, do you understand what I'm saying? He said, I understand Vedanta perfectly, but what you're saying is nonsense. Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, it's nonsense. Well, then you tell me. All right. So then he started speaking. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was like, oh my God, this is no ordinary person here. So then he started speaking on the Atmarama verse. And he said, Lord Chaitanya said, first you speak it. Let me hear what you have to say about this verse. Because Atmarama verse is one of the most famous verses in the Bhagavatam. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he spoke on it. And then Lord Chaitanya spoke on it. But he spoke in a much more clear way, in a much more devotional way, and much more to the point of the Atmarama verse. And he was completely shocked. He said, no ordinary person can speak what he just spoke. Because then Lord Chaitanya, he revealed to him his four-armed form. So now he's like, oh, he pays obeisances, dandavats. And then he showed his two-armed form to Sarvabhauma. So he became a great, great, great devotee. So he invited Lord Chaitanya to his home to have lunch. But somehow he had this son-in-law named Amoga. And Amoga, somehow he had a very bad reputation. Critical, he would criticize. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he was at the door with a stick, just in case he came, to criticize Lord Chaitanya, because he had all this prasadam. They made all this prasadam for Lord Chaitanya. And his wife was serving out the prasad to Lord Chaitanya. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he's at the door with a stick to beat him if he comes. This is Amoga. So he could see that she needed some help serving, so he became a little inattentive in his guard duty. So he started helping serve prasadam to Lord Chaitanya. So then Amoga comes in, he looks in, and he sees all this prasadam. He says, what is this? What kind of a sannyasi is this? This is enough food for 10. What kind of a sannyasi is this? Where is his renunciation? So as soon as he said that, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he looked at him. And if a glance could burn someone to death, his glance would have burnt that person to death. So then Amoga saw that glance, so, I better get out of here. So he went running, and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he went running after him with a stick to beat him. He was elderly, so he couldn't catch him. But he felt so bad. He felt so bad. So bad. And his wife also, his wife was beating her chest, may my daughter become a widow. In other words, they wanted him to just die. Because here the Supreme Lord had come to honor prasadam at their home, and he got blasphemed by this rascal. So also Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he just wanted Amoga to die. And Lord Chaitanya said, no, it's okay. He's right, I shouldn't beat him so much. It's okay, don't worry about it. It's just a little thing, don't worry about it. But they felt so bad. And Lord Chaitanya, he left. And then the next day, Gopinath, who was the brother-in-law of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, went to see Lord Chaitanya. He's a great devotee. So Lord Chaitanya asked Gopinath Acharya, is everything okay with Sarvacharya and his wife? He said, well, they're still fasting. They haven't eaten since that incident yesterday. And Lord Chaitanya said, why are they taking this so serious? It's not a big deal. And Amoga, how's Amoga? Amoga, he's dying of cholera. So Lord Chaitanya said, immediately take me to him. So he took him to him hastily. So Lord Chaitanya went to him. He's on his deathbed. He's practically dead. So Lord Chaitanya said to Amoga, Amoga, you're born into a very nice Brahmin family. Why have you allowed this chandala of envy to sit in your heart, making it not a nice place for Krishna to sit? He puts his hand on his chest. Lord Chaitanya put his hand on his chest. However, because you are related to Sarvacharya, chant the holy names of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And he lifted his hand. And immediately Amoga jumped up out of his deathbed and started chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And he's bowing down to Lord Chaitanya, please forgive me, my Lord, for offending you, please forgive me. And he's slapping. Then he gets up and he's slapping his face real hard. Not soft like this, but real hard. Slapping his face. And it's slapping so hard that it's become swollen. Yeah, swollen. So Gopinath Acharya had to stop him. He's going to hurt himself. He's shouting, this mouth is blaspheming the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he became a great devotee. He became a great devotee. So his heart was dirty because he had this envy. But Lord Chaitanya, because the Amoga had this relationship with Sarvacharya, he got purified. Lord Chaitanya cleansed him. So he became very clean. He became a great devotee. So by this association with devotees, we get the mercy of devotees. And Krishna is pleased. We get the mercy. We're worshiping Prabhupada. Yeah. So Prabhupada is our father. And we have that association. And by following the instructions of Prabhupada, Krishna is pleased. Lord Chaitanya is pleased. And we will also get the mercy of Krishna if we sincerely practice Krishna consciousness under the direction of Śrīla Prabhupada and his dear disciples. Okay?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Any question online?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances.
Hare Krishna, please accept my obeisances.
Prabhu, thank you for sharing this wonderful pastime of Lord Chaitanya. I was having this question, like previously you were mentioning in the class, that Mahaprabhu was feeling a little bit disturbed with someone who is just performing austerity with just only drinking milk. He didn't want him in the room. I just want to understand why Mahaprabhu was performing the pastime like that. What would be the reason? I was curious.
Why you're asking why Lord Chaitanya was so strict about people being in the kirtan?
Yes. Especially that person who.
Why would he kick him away? You're saying also.
Yeah. Why he was so strong about him?
Yeah, good question. Very good question. Yeah, in the beginning, Lord Chaitanya, he just wanted to be with his intimate associates. And who can understand the pastimes of Krishna? But that's what he wanted. And this young Brahmana, he was very advanced, very austere, and he wanted to get that mercy of being in the kirtan. So he got the mercy of Srivas Thakur. He was begging for that mercy of Srivas Thakur, and Srivas Thakur, he gave the mercy. So Lord Chaitanya was testing this young Brahmana. You know, send him away. I just want the intimate devotees here. Send him away. But Lord Chaitanya, upon seeing that he wasn't upset, that he didn't get angry, he was just feeling so much joy because he experienced the ecstasy of the kirtan there with Lord Chaitanya and his associates. So Lord Chaitanya, he sensed that, and therefore he invited, he told Srivas Thakur, bring him back, that's okay. He has a pure heart, bring him back. So see, again, this is just like Amoga got the mercy of Sarvacharya. So this young Brahmana, he got the mercy of Srivas Thakur. And because he got the mercy of Srivas Thakur, and also because he was humble, he wasn't envious, he didn't get angry, he was just so appreciative that he had gotten that mercy. Lord Chaitanya invited him back. Is that okay?
Yes, this seems to be similar to what Prabhupada, the story you also mentioned today. Prabhupada asked to kick someone and if he doesn't get angry,
Yeah.
then this seems to be similar to me. Like,
Yeah. Now, if he would have gotten angry, that would have been a whole nother thing. But this Brahmana was just so appreciative that he got the darshan of Lord Chaitanya and he got to appreciate the kirtan. He was just overwhelmed with appreciation. So he had a pure heart. So Lord Chaitanya invited him back. Lord Chaitanya tested him. Kick him out, get him out. That's a pretty heavy thing to kick someone out, But he was just so appreciative. So he passed the test.
yeah.
And therefore Lord Chaitanya invited him back.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Śrīla Prabhupada ki. Okay.